Right now, a live look at the world's busiest airport, where former President Donald Trump just landed within the last few minutes, just hours ahead of a debate with President Joe Biden. We are waiting for the former president to deplane out there, but meanwhile, you can see there is a large crowd of folks waiting to catch a glimpse of the former president. We heard from one of our reporters, Caitlin Ross, earlier in the hour saying there seemed to be at least a couple hundred people out there saying they just wanted to show their support to the former president, show them that they are in his camp and in his corner. 11 Alive's Faith Jesse live in Midtown. Faith, this is the first time a current president and a former president will take the debate stage together.
That's exactly right, Jennifer. This is a historic showdown, and this is a showdown that people have really been waiting for since 2020. Former President Donald Trump put it out there, said, hey, I'll debate Biden. Biden said, let's make it happen. And now we're seeing it happen in just a few hours here. And we are in the spin room. The debate not actually happening here. It's happening over across the street at CNN in a studio. No audience this time. Some other big rules this year, a mute button that we have not seen. Well, we did see it at the last debate in 2020, but this has been established from the beginning, a mute button. When it's not your turn, you will be muted. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. This debate is going to be very, very historic, like we said, and it's also probably going to cause some historic traffic. So with that, we want to get over to Atlanta traffic expert Crash Clark to talk about what we're going to see. And Crash, we saw President Biden land earlier today. We just saw the former President Trump's plane land. How is this impacting us on these roads out there?
Well, Faith, let's not forget we got to put FLOTUS in there as well. So 3 motorcades, a monster soccer game, and of course rain. Boy, and look what the rain has done. 285 north around Covington Highway, we have flooding. Let's just go ahead and add that to this crazy traffic mix. Okay, FLOTUS landed at Dobbins, made her way down to Midtown, but the impact still being felt on 75, the top end perimeter, even the west side perimeter. 85 and 400 became a nightmare trying to get out of Buckhead into Midtown. And now, as you mentioned there, Faith, former President Trump's motorcade, Hartsfield Jackson, going to start that closure on the Connector North. That's going to include all exits and entrances, and hopefully by now everyone has their seat. USA Panama kicking off in less than a half hour. If you still haven't left, I would recommend you take MARTA, but this rush hour really still in a lot of trouble here, and especially when former President Trump hits the road, the Connector North is going to become a nightmare. Faith, back on over to you.
All right, Crash, thank you so much. Back here live in the spin room, a lot of energy here. This is going to be a debate, the fight for the undecided vote, the fight for the black vote, the fight for women. And to talk more about that is my co-host for the Georgia Vote, Zach Merchant. How are you doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're getting ready for what I think everybody is expecting to be something we've never seen before tonight.
Can you emphasize that?
Yeah, I mean, that's putting it really mildly,
yeah.
Right? We talk about high stakes. High stakes has almost become a little bit of a cliche phrase tonight, but there's a reason for it. Campaigns, debates, presidential debates, they're always big flashpoints in a race for the presidency. But there are reasons this year that there is even more at stake than usual. And here's why. First, this is a really close race between former President Trump and President Biden. Recent polls show that both presidents are in a very narrow contest, separated by only a few percentage points. Second, this year is going to have fewer presidential debates than in many past campaigns. After tonight, the candidates only scheduled to meet once more on the debate stage before the November election. Political scientist and Georgia State University Africana Studies professor Lakita Bennett-Bailey says tonight is a rare opportunity for each candidate to reach a big audience of voters that critically includes voters who have still not yet made up their minds about who they're going to vote for. And with this debate being hosted right here in Atlanta, it is also an opportunity to reach a key voting bloc.
I think for the presidential candidates, the black voter are going to be key. I mean, black voters make up 30% of the population here in Georgia, and they have been impactful in swinging this state before.
It has big risks and big opportunities for both candidates. We're now just a few hours away from seeing how it all unfolds, Faith.
And that was a question that we talked about on the Georgia Vote. I asked our panelists, hey, who has more to win or more to lose? And they said either candidate
It
can
could be
lose or
could go either way for
Yeah.
either candidate. A lot at stake. Could be a great night for one, could be a great night for the other. We're just going to have to wait and see. And we should point out, too, Lakita Bennett Bailey made that point on the Georgia vote in the past.
She did. You guys have to watch that 11 a.m. on Sundays.